So I spent most of this year kind of like connecting back with myself. So I opened up my Bible and kind of constantly told myself that God had more for me. And I recommend you look at things this way too. And, I felt so disassociated, so disconnected, so not me. And I didn't know why. And I remember getting mad, kind of like being full of this anger because things weren't going the way that I wanted them to go. But I didn't know that's exactly what God wanted from me. So I want to read a couple verses, but to start, Proverbs chapter 14, verse 29. People with understanding control their anger. A hot temper shows great foolishness. Right? So it's pretty self-explanatory. The more we let ourselves lose control, the farther we get from ourselves, the farther we get from God, the farther we get from the things that we want or the things that we think are for us. One major thing is that there has to be an understanding, right, between you, your faith, and your heart. And I say the heart because the heart is where everything will start for you, right? Your heart has to be in the right place for things to go a certain way. Your heart has to be in the right place for you to grow. So what I mean by this is the understanding has to be that God has something for you, right? That you have to feel that. And I don't know, it's not like a literal, like, like a touch, but you yourself, deep down in your heart, you have to genuinely feel that God has something for you. You have to understand that. And when you come to terms with that, you'll see how everything kind of like builds around you, right? It almost starts with like this chaos. It always feels like control has been lost and it's chaotic and it's really bad. And we're told to be faithful always, to always be grateful when things go well, when things go bad. But let's be honest, when things are chaotic, who are we? When things are chaotic, how do we naturally respond? It's almost like, the world, or like we have like this human thing that kind of like throws us off from faith when things get chaotic. And I remember being around these numbers during that time and eventually being told, shift your focus. When I put everything together, that's the message that came out. Shift your focus. And that made me feel different. That made me feel good. Every time I would lash out or get angry, shift your focus, right? That's what God was telling me. And I want to share it with you because maybe God is telling you the same thing. When you feel like you're going to make a bad decision or a questionable decision, or you're going to react in a questionable manner, shift your focus. Do not do things intrusively, impulsively. So I'll got another verse here. Okay. So Proverbs chapter 12, verse 1. To learn, you must love discipline. It is stupid to hate correction. So we're going to be corrected by God. We're going to be corrected by our peers. And being open-minded to those around you and seeing things in that manner is what will help you take that next step forward. Live with an open heart. Live with a heart that is understanding of how important it is to, listen to others, to have others hit you in the heart. I guess you can, it's not the right way to say it, but by that I mean, words carry a lot of weight, and sometimes your heart reacts. You react when you don't hear what you think you want to hear. It makes you feel away, but that's okay. Be open to correction. Be open to more knowledge, more understanding. My biggest takeaways from this year have honestly been that being open to times of uncertainty, times where I don't really know if, when you think that your plans are bigger than God's, He will show you the chaos that your plans were going to bring, or He'll let it happen. He'll let you trust your plan and you'll crash. You'll crash, but you won't fall. Your ship will not sink. Your ship will never sink. If you have faith, your ship will never sink. You'll hit some rough times in the ocean. You'll think you're gonna sink. You'll think that maybe you should turn around and go another way, but God has a path for you, and He'll make sure that you never fall. And in me realizing that it's not always, calm in the ocean, I found a very nice current. And that current came with a lot of chaos, but I found a very nice and touching current. And I can proudly say I have no complaints. And looking at everything that had to happen for that, what I say to you is keep your heart in the right place. All right. I'm going to make more of these where I kind of just turn the camera on and speak. There's not much editing. I'll cut out 2 seconds while I found a verse that I was looking for and added a little filter or something. But if you need prayers, if you need anything, leave a comment. My Instagram will be down there as well if you'd like to message me. And pick up the Bible. It's not necessary, but it is necessary. It's very helpful. Don't think that your belief has to be attached to this. This is really helpful, but this is not the root of your faith. Your faith comes from right here.